Hey, it's Tyler from State Champs, and you're listening to Morgan Richards on Radio Cardiff.
Hey, I'm Morgan Richards from Radio Cardiff, 98.7 FM, and I'm very pleased to say that I'm backstage at the O2 Academy here in Bristol. I'm joined by one of the finer bands attempting to shake up the pop-punk scene lately. It's, of course, those new wave quintet from New York. It's the lovely Tyler of State Champs.
Hey, man, how's it going?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. How's things?
Great, so good, dude. Happy to, be here in Bristol.
So, Tyler, of course, as 2014 is coming to an end, it's without a doubt safe to say that you guys have basically living off the road pretty much all around with an incredible hectic tour schedule these past 12 months, with all the fantastic reaction you've had off the back of releasing your debut full-length studio record, The Finer Things, on Pure Noise Records back in 2013, visiting a lot of brand new territory in Australia, Europe, here in the UK, and occurring constantly across the States. I'm sure it's just been a very tiring, phenomenal year personally for you guys, in some surreal response of the debut full-length growing what was a brilliant period for State Champs.
Yeah, you pretty much summed it up for me, man. It's been a really long year. Yeah. It's been a really good year, though, we've got to do a lot of things that we never really thought we'd get to do just by playing music. We've been in 14 different countries this year. We released our record about a year ago. It was October 8th of 2013, so it's our second time back in the UK, and the response is just fantastic. Yeah, it's really cool though. It's been a phenomenal year, but it has been very tiring. So this is our last tour for the year. I'm pretty excited to get home.
And it really has been a year of firsts for State Champs this year, where you guys have played for the first time in those different countries and continents, as well as hitting some incredible shows back home in the States. Your first radio appearance at the Vans Warped Tour sticking out for you guys as well, and as you said, it's really just been a period of achieving some massive goals you never imagined you would achieve, going full force and really taking these experiences full throttle.
Yeah, we've crossed a lot of things off the bucket list this year. Not only did we play on the Vans Warped Tour this summer, we opened up the main stage 6 times. That was really cool. Went to the Southern Hemisphere for the first time. Went to Australia and New Zealand, went to Japan, mainland Europe, UK, Ireland, all that stuff. It was just a massive year. Yeah, excited to do it all again next year. It's all cool stuff. I'm glad I got to do it for the first time, but after you do it for the first time, you kind of learn how to do it better the second time. So it's my second time here in the UK, and even just going from the first time to this time, knowing everything I learned, it's just so much cooler being back here and more footing.
Okay, awesome. We're going to hear. And as we mentioned there, back in the summer, you guys pretty much toured non-stop across the States on your first ever experience on the Vans Warped Tour.
Yeah.
Obviously being a massive thing for you guys from being from the States.
Yeah.
But I actually understand that throughout, you guys actually got bumped up to a higher stage because there's so much fans coming to see you in the earlier stages of that tour.
Yeah, I don't know if it was because a crowd reaction or what, but it was pretty massive. We grew up going to the tour. I went to my first one 10 years ago, so 10 years later and being a part of it is just mental.
Yeah, and of course, as I mentioned, all this has come off the back of your highly rated debut full-length studio album, The Finer Things, at the end of last year, where a lot of people have actually rated it as a very refreshing record in the current pop-punk scene worldwide, with it being a real bar-raising and impressive attempt for a debut full-length, for having a lot of get-up and bounce rhythms, heartfelt vocal tones, and really dipping into a bit of alternative elements too from time to time.
Yeah, the record has definitely received a good amount of praise. We just wrote the record we didn't expect any of this. You know what I mean? we made the record with Sam Pure and Steve Klein, and it all kind of happened. I think that Sam and Steve really helped us tap into unknown potential. It was there somewhere. Someone just had to pull it out of us, and Derek absolutely destroyed it with vocals, and he does a lot of producing stuff too. So it was a group effort all around. I'm happy it was received the way it was. That's really cool for me. Yeah, I don't know, it's cool.
But it must be quite surreal to think of all the massive response you guys have had from the release worldwide, really.
Yeah, I don't know, it was just crazy. Before we released it, we had small amount of fans at the UK and stuff doing our first and second tours here this year. It's just the response keeps growing. Even people are finding out about us for the first time on this tour. They come to see Newfound Glory or Story So Far or whoever, and they're you were great, whatever, and people will tweet at us and Facebook and all that, let us know, so it's a really cool reaction to a record that we put our all into it, so to see this come out of it,
Yeah, well, brilliant. And recently with the record, you guys have just released a brand new follow-up EP with the Acoustic Things back in October that includes 5 reworked and stripped back tracks from The Finer Things, as well as an extra 2 new acoustic tracks as well.
Yeah, we released an acoustic record, just kind of something to tide people over to the next record. I shouldn't speak for everyone, but I definitely love when bands put out acoustic records. I'm a huge fan of hearing my favorite songs in a different light and stuff like that, so So yeah, it was a lot of fun to make. Me and Derek just got together and like went through the songs and like figured out ways to like just strip them down without losing like their elements and stuff like that. It was really cool. I'm glad we did it. People seem to be responding to it, especially the 2 new tracks. It's just like Derek knocked it out of the park. He wrote both of them himself, like alone. So no, I mean, like it's a great response to that too. Like that EP actually sold more copies than the actual record did, like in its first week. So that's pretty cool to have that kind of response just for like something we did for fun. Like it wasn't even that serious of a thing for us. We just did it. People enjoyed it, at least enough to pick it up. So
and some of the tracks on the acoustic EP sees you really experimenting as a truly different sounding style that people have come to know and love, and you do the high energy, in your face pop punk roots, with these tracks being really more emotional, beautiful ballads. The fans have really gone absolute ballistic, following heads on heels, really loving these acoustic stripped back versions.
I was on our Spotify page last night actually, and I realized like our Spotify top hits are like a song from the Finer Things, 2 songs from the Acoustic Things, a song from the Finer Things, and just more Acoustic Things songs. So it seems as though like people are jocking that right now pretty hard. It's cool that it makes sense why they like it. I've always loved when bands turn my favorite songs into acoustic songs. Also, it like kind of like strips it down more, and like you can sometimes like some tracks you can feel more emotion in, you know, like it's not surrounded by layers of guitars and drums and all this production stuff, but it's just like guitar, voice, and like that's it. You can just feel it.
And with all these things really taking the EP to the next level, do you think that acoustic elements or vibes are something you'll keep in mind and use more when writing in the future?
Who knows, man? Like, it's hard to say, really. At the end of the day, we're like an electric band. We play live music with or a 5-piece band, you know? So to say that we would incorporate more acoustics in the future, I mean, it'll probably happen. It's not going to be on the forefront, like when we go into writing this next record, which what we'll be doing after this tour. It's not like we're going to be like, all right, we need to do like a handful of acoustic tracks, because like that's not really who we are as a band. We'll definitely like include some elements of it. I mean, we're a huge fan of like ballad tracks and stuff like that too, so like there's always that kind of stuff. Even though it's not full acoustic, it's still that like slow kind of vibe. Be more of a whimsical thing, kind of like this was.
Right. And of course, just recently you guys have been over here in the UK for Monster Tour, supporting Newfound Glory, the story so far.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure it's been amazing to play these sold out shows for over 2 weeks over here in the UK.
It's been friggin' mental, man. I think the biggest room was like about 2,000 people, and it's funny because the tour ends in London, and I think the first show sold out. It's like 2,500, massive crowds. It's insane. Like, but it's cool, you know. It pumps me up. It doesn't make me nervous. Like, we're here to bring it, you know. I mean, we didn't fly across the Atlantic Ocean to just not care. Like, we're here. We care. We're ready to rock.
Okay, awesome. And of course, this is actually your only second time over here in the UK, following you guys supporting the Wonder Years back earlier in the year as well.
Yep. We supported the Wonder Years back in May. We got to play Slam Dunk on that too. That was really cool. We also got to go to mainland Europe for our first time. We did like Germany, Belgium, Switzerland. It was cool. It was a fun tour with the Wonder Years. That was our first time here, and it was just such a crazy response then that we were like, holy, like we got to come back here soon. And then the Newfound Glory was like, hey, do you want to come on the Pop Punk's Not Dead tour? You know, like blah 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 blah. And we're like, yes, like we can't wait to come back. So we love it here, man. It's like I think it's my second favorite place to tour. I mean, I hold the States as number one, obviously. It's my home, but we love coming over here. I mean, you'll see a lot of us in the future for sure.
Awesome. Well, great to hear. And Tyler, just a couple more things now before you go. Of course, with all this touring and 2015 just around the corner, we can expect you guys to be very busy next year as well. But can we expect you maybe to come back here to the UK for your first ever headline tour over here?
I mean, I don't want to like speak too soon, but I can confidently say that it'll happen. It's something that we really want to do, especially after this tour. We only get to play for 25 minutes on this tour, and like we meet fans at our merch table and stuff, and they're like, oh man, like why didn't you play this song or that song? And it's just like we just can't, because like we use all 25 minutes we have. We actually start early to play an extra song. We care, and like we really want to come back. I mean, I think they're owed it now after supporting us on the Wonder Years tour and this tour, and just making it absolutely insane for us. I think at this point it's the least we can do to come back and headline for all the kids that have been holding us down on these support tours, you know.
And with that, is there anything else we can expect for the State Champs in the near future? Or?
There will be a new record next year for sure.
Yeah.
There's no real information on it yet, but it'll happen. Yeah, just a lot of touring. We'll be everywhere. New music videos, all that stuff. You know, just the whole 9 yards, all of it.
Okay. Oh, awesome. Well, brilliant to hear. Well, that's about it. Cheers, Tyler, for taking time out.
Cheers, man.
Right, no worries. Good luck now with the writing and everything towards next year, and hopefully I can catch up with you guys again very soon.
Yeah, sounds good, man. Hope to see you soon.
Right, cheers.
Cheers.